So it's been quite a while since we've done any of the instructor interviews, so I thought we'd do our very own Conor Lucas. Worked in the shop for a good couple of years now. Find out all about Conor, so you've got a good idea all about him, and if you call up the shop or you come in the shop, you know who you're talking to. First question is how you got into martial arts.
So I started martial arts. I actually started judo to start off with. I think it was just advertised at a leisure centre, so I got sent to it. Did a couple of lessons, but I think it was more of a creche kind of thing.
Yeah.
Did the same with Taekwondo, and that didn't work out, so I was only there for a little bit. And then I went to, I think my mum was walking home from the shops one day, saw a leaflet for Dragon Tang Soo Do at a community centre. And I started that when I was about 7, and I've basically been there ever since. So yeah, 19 years now. So yeah, quite a long time.
And what, like, so obviously you've kind of grown up with it, so you're sort of very used to just day in, day out doing that training. But what is it that you still love about it that sort of makes you keep training? Because a lot of people will do that as a kid, and then when they sort of hit their teens they drop off, or you know, maybe, I mean, we see a lot in the shop of people coming back to stuff after like a 20-year gap. So you're quite an oddity in a way that you've stayed
no, definitely. I think that answer kind of changes throughout the years. Like, so, you know, at one point it'll just be, most people start off, you know, at the white belt, and they can see, oh, okay, I want to get to black, and especially people who are around my age, especially when you get to like 14 to you know 18, 19, there's loads of other stuff in life that sort of pops up, and half the people sort of disappear. So all the people I started with have kind of gone. Yeah. And you know, I kind of wanted to do the same. I kind of, you know, got to a certain point, and it was like, you know, my mum saying, come on, let's get to black belt. Once you get to your black belt, you can potentially, you know, think about quitting, and you know, so there you go, all right, that's the goal, let's get to here. And then when you get there, you know, I ended up entering world competitions and doing quite well, and you know, your peer group kind of changes. So like my mates weren't the people all sort of my age, there were people older than me, and you kind of stay for that. And then it's like, okay, well now I'm helping out a class, and you kind of stay for that. So the answer kind of changes. Like I think that's just through, you know, natural progression in martial arts. Once you get to black belt, you're kind of not done learning, but you're done learning the basics, and now it's your job to kind of help other people. And I think that's why some people struggle, because they get to black belt and go, I'm kind of not learning anything now, it's a bit stagnant, and I want to go off and do other things or whatever. So I fully have had that experience myself, but I've stayed just because of other people. And, and you know, you do get to that certain point, and that's like, oh, actually I've crept up and now I'm a second dance here. And you learn that, now you've got new stuff to learn. Now people in class need help, and there's competitions, and I've sort of carried on through loving it, and you do appreciate it for what it is. I love the people there. Like, you know, I love my instructor, and kind of stay for those things, and I enjoy it, and I think it adds more focus to me as well. Like, it's part of my life, and I've done it more in my life than I have not in my life, if you know what I mean. So it's I kind of stay for multiple reasons, but I love it at the end of the day. That's the main reason.
Just, if people haven't heard of Tang Soo, it's not particularly like a well-known style. It's not one of the big ones necessarily. I mean, no. There's a lot more of it in Bristol than there are other cities. So, like, we've had people in here that have like, I can't believe you've got Tang Soo here. It's crazy. Like, it just doesn't exist in Norfolk or wherever. Like, it's just none of it. So.
No, there's like, and I think, you know, what I've majority of the time say to people, customers, when they do come in who aren't really clued up on martial arts, they go, what do you do? And normally half the time I just go, karate. And because it's a Korean form of karate. Or you know, people go, oh, what style? And you go, Tang Soo Do, and they go, oh, I don't know. And you go, it's very similar to Taekwondo. And they go, oh, I know the one. So it's quite it's not as big. It's quite big in Bristol. We used to have about 14, 13 clubs all across Bristol. But through being in Tang Soo Do, you do kind of, you know, if you know it's there, you kind of do start branching out. And now we've got people up in like Workshop, and people over in Spain and Holland and stuff like that, where we're all kind of interlinked. But it isn't one of the most well-known things. I mean, it's probably most well-known for having Chuck Norris in it. And then he's well known for being the hardest man in the planet, apparently.
Yeah.
So,
which is true.
Yeah, which is true. Yeah, obviously.
Still.
Yeah.
Cool. So what's like with your training? What's the plans like for the future?
So at the moment, I'm currently a 3rd Dan. I'm going for my 4th Dan Masters in October. So we're recording this in September. So, you know,
hopefully you've got it.
Hopefully, if you come into the shop after this has come out, after October, and I've either failed. I've either failed or I've passed. And I think once I've sort of done that, I'm potentially opening up a club with one of my good friends who I've done it with for years. I think we're going to open up a club here in Bristol. And yeah, I've still, you know, I've travelled. I've trained with quite a few different. Not just in Tang Soo, I've trained with kickboxing and MMA. I'd like to get back into those, and I'd like to train a bit of Thai, but at the moment I want to solely focus on my Tang Soo, get myself to 4th Dan, open up a club, and then I can kind of broaden my horizons again, and train with other places while also maintaining sort of my own club. But that's kind of the goal. I think I owe that to my instructor, who's trained me for years and years. I think once you get to that level, your job then is to pass on the sort of knowledge. So opening up a club is kind of the next logical step, I think, once you get to your 4th Dan. So yeah, we'll see how that goes.
Yeah,
that's the one.
It's pretty good. So for those who maybe met you in the shop or spoke to you on the phone, like how did you come in to the shop effectively? So how did you sort of your involvement with the shop start?
Well, it started.
Obviously, I know.
Yeah, you know. Yeah.
But
yeah, for everyone who does, I basically used to be the Saturday boy back when I was like 17, 18. Needed a Saturday job, and you know, I was training in martial arts. It kind of goes hand in hand. And I was here for probably about a year and a half or so, I think, doing maybe 1 or 2 days a week. Then I've gone off. I've worked in multiple different companies, and then kind of became a manager in sort of retail, and you know, was doing like shoes at one point, and then I was doing high-end jewelry at another point, and all of it was kind of not really what I was passionate about. I was passionate about, you know, martial arts, and I saw you advertise it just sort of during COVID, and thought, actually, do you know what? Let's go back there, and been here now for probably like 3 years, nearly 3 years in January, I think it would be. So it's been wicked just coming back in, and then getting to, you know, almost, it's another reason why I kind of reignites your love for martial arts, because you don't just speak to people who do just your thing. You speak to people who do loads and loads of different martial arts, whether it be like more sporty based, like, you know, your boxing and your MMA, or you know, people who do their really sort of traditional stuff like your Tai Chi and, you know, Kung Fu, and just listen to everyone's perspective on certain things and why they love it kind of reignites your love for, you know, all things martial arts. So I basically get to stand around here, and sometimes we end up having customers come in who just chat to us for hours on end just about training, and it's
like today.
We had people in talking just about training and travelling and stuff like that, and it's wicked to hear loads of stories like that. So I love it, man. If you're into martial arts, this job's probably one of the best ones you could possibly do. So sucks for you lot, because I've got it.
Cool, thank you very much.
No worries.
Cool. Any questions for Conor, drop them in the comments, and
I'll be the one replying to them. So
So,
any questions, drop me a message, drop us a comment, or give us a phone call. I'm probably going to be answering it.
So this interview goes out on the mailing list. So we have a mailing list, and we send out stuff like all the time, and then every quarter we send out like a big newsletter, which this goes on. So if you want to be part of that, go on the website or drop us an email, and we'll stick you on it. But thanks very much, and
no worries.
See you soon. Cheers.